Hello, it's ENulmer, and this is going to be a kind of deluxe extended look at my MAXX figure that I made. Um, it is originally a Marvel Legends ulik, and it's not a whole lot. I pretty much sculpted the entire thing, resculpted the whole thing, except for the undies, the majority of the belt, and the fingers here, the finger details. The claws I sculpted, obviously, but like the fingers I did not. I cut his head off and rearranged it to his fucking chest here. I cut the forearms and the calves down here, and I extended the forearms about 1/4 of an inch to lengthen them a little bit. And then down here I subtracted so I can shorten them up a tiny bit. When I did that, I put the feet on, I put the peg on going into the heel, thinking that was going to make the articulation kind of work a little better, and it didn't. It kind of fucked everything up. But the toe joints are toybiz abomination figures. It's the hand, so it's the finger joints and the wrist joint, and then basically kind of shaped them. And I didn't do any foil on them, and then I just sculpted them. With the fingers, or with the hands, I cut out the middle fingers on both style of hands. Cut out the fingers, and I wedged a like little piece of toothpick in there to keep the hand from closing back in. And then I sculpt the claw. That way, you know, it kind of made it look a little more natural, because you know the claw's pretty big. It would have been cool to do like some cool stylized ones too, but you know, whatever. So I had a couple of these guys on clearance that I got. So I did have an extra head I was willing to sack to give him 3 different heads. This is his angry face that he kind of makes periodically. It looks pretty cool on him, I think. Hey, what are you doing? What's up? Yeah, he looks pretty cool. I like that. And then I also did, get the fuck out of here. I also did the cartoony kind of face that he does. Well, it's not the one he does. I just did a cartoony face of my own. But he does this a lot. Sam Keith does a lot of fucking like really good looking artwork, and then he'll do like some fucking badass cartoony shit. And he's probably one of the greatest comic book artists. But I gave the this head, these are Star Wars hands, the little wrist joints, and I just carved them down to almost nothing and put them in there and made these little eyeballs so I can move them around and give him some kind of some interesting things that you can do with him then. Whoa, 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 whoa. So that's pretty much it for the MAXX. This is one of the ises I made. I've got a couple of these guys cooking right now, but this is the only one that's completed. It's Lego Bionicles. I fused those 2 pieces together to kind of make the little waist or whatever. There's BBs in the feet, so it's weighed down. He doesn't, I mean, he'll fall over obviously, but it just helps. And then this is just foil with little Star Wars shoulder joints in here. And then that's wire coat hanger with some clay around it. And then this is paper clips. And then did a little hand of clay and then put the paper clips in there. And then once it was all hardened, I made these little Mod Podge globs to make little finger nubs. This is one of them, the work in process one. So you can kind of get an idea. Like I make these little kind of like holes, kind of shove the fucking wire in and whatever, glue it in there. And here he is with McFarlane's MAXX, the original MAXX that everyone was able to get a hold of. Well, whoever was able to. I was never able to. I was hunting for that fucker for years. And I ended up getting this one at a yard sale from a neighbor down the street. And fucking like 10 years later, fucking McFarlane opened up a store in Tempe, and I went there, and that was the only... They had shit tons of fucking MAXX figures. No one else from that set, but a shit ton of MAXXs. And I'm like, oh, that's why I never found one. You motherfuckers were hoarding them in the fucking warehouse and shit. Thank you. But I ended up buying fucking 2 of them. I bought a bunch of shit that day. It was pretty cool. But I mean, that's it, man. I think he came out pretty cool.